Have you ever noticed teeny tiny red web-like little veins on your face or your legs? Let's talk about what they are and why they happen. Those teeny tiny vessels are actually called spider veins. The medical term is actually telangiectasias, but that's a complicated word, so let's stick with spider veins. They are very small, dilated blood vessels. You were not born with them. They have just appeared during life, and they happen because of multiple different reasons. A lot of times it can be genetic, so many patients will say that their mom or their dad or literally everyone in their family has them all over. Genetics definitely plays a role, but things like hormones, aging, pregnancy is definitely one of those most important risk factors, because when we are pregnant, the hormones change, but also the weight of baby in our bodies increases the pressure inside of our veins, and that can cause those broken vessels, those little capillaries to form. There's other things like obviously aging. As we get older and we lose some of that collagen and elastin, our blood vessels become a little bit more fragile, same as our skin, so we're more prone to get them. If you've had any sort of trauma, I've had several patients throughout the years that tell me that in a specific area on the leg, they had some sort of trauma, force hit them or they fell and they remember getting a bad bruise. And in that area, a cluster or a group of spider veins develop. Or things like sometimes even sun exposure, or just the way that we walk, especially if we use high heels, that can affect how our veins function and make us more prone to having spider veins. Little blood vessels or little spider veins, they tend to be mostly red, but they can actually be blue or purple. And a lot of times they're not just an isolated one. A lot of times people start noticing more like clusters or little groups of those veins, because they, much like the root system of a tree, they're connected to one larger vein that is actually deeper on the skin, that's most of the times is not visible to the naked eye. What we end up seeing is the little teeny tiny vessels up on the skin, and the most common places are essentially anywhere on the legs, but mainly on this inner side next to our knees, sometimes down by the ankles, or on this outer side of the thigh. And on the face, we tend to see them here next to the nose, like on the sides of the nose, but we can also see them around the chin, under the eyes, and on our cheeks. And they can actually happen too in areas where there has been surgery. For example, we have some patients who have had a facelift, where they have these scars running next to the ear. And a lot of times they will develop some of those broken capillaries as they're healing from that surgery. And some of the teeny tiny blood vessels are cut during surgery, new ones are formed, and they show up in the form of little broken capillaries. The way that we treat them, most times they are just a cosmetic concern. They have no implications from a medical standpoint. And so we can treat them if they're making you self-conscious. If you're looking at the mirror and you're seeing them, they make you feel uncomfortable, or they are preventing you from being able to wear a skirt or a dress or a swimsuit when you go to the beach, we can absolutely treat them. They have no function, they have no importance as far as your health goes. We can treat them, and there's multiple ways that we can. Mainly, we use a medication or light or laser to get those little blood vessels to close. The gold standard for veins, those spider veins, especially on the legs, is sclerotherapy. Sclerotherapy is a treatment where we inject a specific medication that has been created to close those abnormal veins, and that medication is injected directly into the veins we want to close. The treatment itself is very straightforward. We use very, very teeny tiny needles, so it's very comfortable in general, but it does require patience and it requires time. We want to meet about every 4 weeks to do sessions, and most people will end up needing about 3 sessions, but some may actually need more. So if you think about it, if you're planning to get them treated maybe for an event, or next summer, we need to plan to get started with treatment ahead of time, so we have enough time to do the sessions that we need, and then give time for the body to actually scar them down. It's not like when we do sclerotherapy, they're immediately gone. Unfortunately, it is not one of those treatments that gives you the results you want right away. And we do need to plan for that. The other way that I was mentioning is actually light or laser treatment. So in that case, we are still wanting to hurt the blood vessels. We're just doing it in a different way. We're not using the medication. We're using laser or light energy to hurt that vein, and then start that same process of hopefully the body coming in, closing and scarring those veins down. We just need to do the right diagnosis and find the perfect treatment for you.